All right, back here with you on NFL Game Day Final. Denzel Ward is a new teammate, Shedeur Sanders, and reached out on X to say, hey, time to be legendary. Of course, Shedeur Sanders' calling card, Deion Sanders, prime, Jesus. There you go. His son is now a Cleveland Brown after a wait that extended a lot longer than most, including there at the Sanders draft party, had anticipated. But Cleveland Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski and GM Andrew Berry talking about their newest QB.
Our message to him, it's really all this. It's like, look, got to come in and work, and you got to come in and compete. That's the message. Nothing's given. Given the nature of the weekend for him, relative to, let's say, external expectation versus what happened, we did tell him that it really doesn't matter where you picked. It's what you do from that point forward, because that's the reality for all the guys that we selected this weekend. In terms of his reaction, I just say it was probably a mixture of gratitude, relief, and determination.
How much are you looking forward to navigating, trying to get four guys, not only a fair shake at it, but also at the same time, you're going to be trying to get ready for a football season.
Yeah,
too.
We've talked about it. I mean, there's ways to do both. I think Darryl, obviously, you may not divide them 25, 25, 25, but we feel really confident that we'll have a plan that is fair to each player and fair to the team as well.
By the way, Shedeur's brother, Shiloh, just signed as an undrafted free agent with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Ooh.
Hey.
That's a good play.
As you see the Browns quarterback depth chart, don't expect Deshaun Watson to factor into the equation at QB for the Browns this year, but two rookies there with Kenny Pickett and Joe Flacco. Shedeur Sanders talking about his new opportunity now.
I'm extremely grateful for the opportunity throughout everything. I don't ever focus on the negative. For me, it was just playing quarterback. That's what it's about.
What kind of burden was it being the son of Deion and that you were not just a regular player here in college football?
It's never a burden. I wouldn't look at that as that. I feel like God makes everybody have their own routes, and this is just my route. Nothing really affected me the last couple of days. I know I got to clean up some things in my game for me to be at my best, but the main thing I'm just proving Coach Stefanski and Mr. Berry that they are right about picking me.
The Browns actually traded up to make this happen. Here, they ended up giving up a sixth-round pick and swapping with the Seattle Seahawks to make Shedeur Sanders the final pick of their draft class. Steve, their second quarterback, as we mentioned. How do you see this working out for Shedeur in Cleveland?
I think it's, he has a great opportunity. Obviously, with Deshaun Watson and his injury that he's, trying to get back into. Kenny Pickett, really don't see that as competition. Joe Flacco's only Pat Sherman's great offense, but, we'll see what happens. But I don't think it's not going to be as even as people think.
Steve, the best arm in Cleveland, you can't lie to your players. You shouldn't lie to your players. So if Shedeur is throwing the ball on time, and he's moving the offense in all the variety of drills, and he's standing out in the individual drills, and intellectually, mentally, he's on top of it with his checks and all the things he can do at the line of scrimmage, then the team is going to see that, and he's going to move ahead.
Yeah, here's where we gonna really get to see what Shedeur is made of. Because if you go through Shedeur's journey, everywhere he's been, his dad has been there. And he's been handed the position. High school, at Jackson State, and Colorado. Steve, I understand you saying that these people's resumes are not impressive. It's not about that. He's the lowest on the totem pole because he got drafted after Dylan Gabriel. That's right. Kenny Pickett has done more. Dylan Gabriel has done more. Joe Flacco's a Super Bowl MVP, so you're at the bottom. So now it's time to come in and show us all that you've been saying. Now it's time to come in and show it. When I said, so what, now what mentality, so what you got drafted where you got drafted. Now what are you going to do about it? And that goes for everybody who got drafted.
That's true.
You're the lowest on the totem pole, but what are you going to do about it now? Now it's time to show. I don't want to see no Instagrams, no TikTok. I don't want to see nothing you doing as if it's not coming from a major network. Shut all the cameras off. It's time to go to work. If we see Shedeur Sanders, it needs to come from a major network. Not no Instagrams, no TikToks, no Twitters, none of that. Put your head down, go in there and work. And he has everything necessary to go get that job.
And remember, like
it's called X now.
If he's not the starter, it also becomes a collaborative effort for the Browns in that QB room.
Yeah.
The backups have to help the starter as part of the preparation process throughout the week. So we'll see how all that ends up working out. Speaking of X, by the way, Travis Hunter FaceTiming his quarterback at Colorado, his teammate. There they go, right there on the CU Buffs account. Those two shared many a big play, and they will not play against each other this year, Jags and Browns. But we'll find out where all the matchups will go on the NFL schedule release. Every game revealed on May 14th. Further details, NFL.com/schedule release. As it relates to Travis Hunter, Green Bay to the city of Three Rivers, the Allegheny, the Monongahela, and the Ohio. What a beautiful sight that will be in just over a calendar year. Until then, though, we have 257 choices that we can talk about here on NFL Game Day Final. Appreciate you guys being back here with us. Rhett Lewis, Steve Smith Sr., Brian Baldinger, and Gerald McCoy. Steve, simple question. Which team won the draft?
Well, a lot of teams got a lot of great picks, but for me, it has to be the Seattle Seahawks. They use 11 picks, but they also target the needs that they had. They need O-lineman, wide receiver, corner, safety, and D-lineman. They did that early, but they got some guys that you weren't expecting to be there and can really impact their team immediately. They got some value picks, got 2 wide receivers, one in the 5th round with Tony Horton at Colorado State, who sustained a little bit of injuries, but he has some speed. And then they got Ricky White, the 3rd. So he exactly knows what it is, and this quarterback of the future. So I thought it was a really good opportunity. They got some good picks in the first couple of rounds, but then they got some value picks where they can pay a little bit less, but the production doesn't impact their salary cap immediately.
11 picks. So I chose another team, Steve. I said the Atlanta Falcons, who only had 5 picks in this whole draft. But I think they really nailed the picks. They traded back in the first round. They needed pass rush. You look at what they have been doing, Raheem Morris, and their inability to get to the quarterback a year ago. They go out and get Jalen Walker with the 15th pick. Like, this guy is an athlete. He can come off the edge. He can play inside linebacker. He is a playmaker. So their draft started with Jalen Walker, and everybody congratulated him. I don't think anybody thought he'd be there at number 15.
They didn't even think so.
Well, there you go, Steve. And so he's there. You can't help but just go, he's a Falcon. But they weren't satisfied with just one. They traded back into the first round to get James Pierce Jr. out of Tennessee, who has elite traits and instincts from size. He ran that 4.47 speed at the Combine in Indianapolis, and his speed shows up on film. And so they got 2 really good edge rushers that can get after Baker Mayfield, can get after Bryce Young, can get after quarterbacks in your own division. But they weren't even done there. They got 2 safeties.